Hey guys, it's the Plant Doctor here. This is unofficially going to be part 2 of how to graft Japanese maples. That's been one of our biggest videos on the channel. It's our second most viewed video. I've had lots of questions about what do I do with my Japanese maple once that graft is successful. A lot of you guys have watched what I'm going to start calling part 1 and had successful grafts, and now you're okay, the graft took, what do I do now? Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is one that I did this spring. Today is April the 20th. I did these grafts back in March, first part of March, maybe late February, somewhere in there. Okay, this is our scion that we attach to our rootstock down here. This is Geisha Gone Wild. So Geisha Gone Wild is an absolutely gorgeous Japanese maple. I love the foliage on this. It's got a dark inner part of the leaf, and then the margins, the outer part, is this light pink. It's just really, really, really pretty. And that is the growth that we want to encourage here. Okay, so you can see right here, this is where the graft went in. It's a little bit high. I like to graft a little lower, but there was some stuff going on down here on this rootstock that didn't really permit me to find a good place to graft, so I grafted it high. You can see the graft here. So all of this is what we are trying to get to grow as our new Japanese maple. This is our rootstock down here. So first of all, you see these leaves down here? They're not that red with that beautiful pink margin, okay? These are the leaves of the rootstock. So what you can do with these, just pull them off. You're not going to hurt the plant. And you want to keep these pulled off, because any vegetation from the rootstock, nutrients are going to these leaves that we want to go up here, okay? So step 1, remove that vegetation from the rootstock, okay? And you may have vegetation from the rootstock above your scion. That's okay. Take it off too, okay? So but make certain that what you're taking off is vegetation off the rootstock and not vegetation off your scion. You'll be very disappointed if you do that, okay? The next thing is this. Any rootstock wood above this scion we can remove. So, but you've got to be very careful here. So there's nodes on your rootstock. They're very visible. So a node is a site of vegetative growth. And on Japanese maples, they're round. You can see them very, very clearly. And I'll try to get some good B-roll film up close so that you can see these nodes. Why are the nodes important? If you cut below the node that's above the scion, so in other words, if you cut on the same level as your scion, that wood's going to die back below your scion, and you're going to lose your scion. So cut, you can probably see it right here. I'm going to try to get a real close-up view. Yeah, you can see it right there. I do not want to cut below that. If I cut below that, it's going to die down to the next node. It's going to die down to here. Notice where my scion is. That means my scion is going to die. So I cannot cut below that node. I'm going to come up here, and really what I like to do, just so I'm not stressing the tree that much, I'll go up an additional node. So I'm not going to take this much off. I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to cut above this node right here. Okay, I'm just going to cut that off. And then next year, what I'll do, once that scion takes really well, I'll come in and remove that last node above the scion. So basically all I'm going to do is, I'm not going to take off but maybe 2 inches here. See that? Notice how that cut, I'm going to try to get close up for you. See our node right there, that ring? Notice it's above that ring. So this tree, the rootstock's going to die back to this node. Okay, so if any vegetation is going to come out of this rootstock, it'll be at this node. There will be no vegetation in here. It'll come out at the nodes, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, what do we want to do from here? From here, it's really about nutrition. okay? And what we do not want to do with our 1-year-old or younger Japanese maples that we have just grafted, this graft is maybe 60 days old, is put a lot of quick release fertilizer into the pot. So that includes things like Liquid Miracle Grow. No liquid products, no liquid fertilizer here, because that is quick release. You're going to put a ton of nutrients in this pot. It's going to push a ton of vegetation, but what's going to happen is you're going to get these wiry limbs, and they're going to break real easy. They're going to flop around in the wind, and they're going to break. It's not going to look right. We want some slow growth here. So what I do is, and I'll try to leave a link down in the description below so that you can pick some of this up off of Amazon, or a very, very similar product. This is a slow release prill. All right, so this is a 90-day prill. You can see there's our fertilizer. And I have maybe half a handful for this little 1-gallon pot. And I'm just gonna go in a circular motion right along the top. We're just top dressing this. We don't have to put it way down in the soil layer. There you can see right there. Those are slow release prills. So I'll get continuous slow feed on my Japanese maple in May, June, July, and into August. Once August gets here, September's around the corner, I'm really looking to start slowing my trees down. You don't want a lot of vegetation, new growth on your Japanese maples going into that first frost, because it's going to die back pretty hard, okay? You want that new growth to be hardening off as you go into September. So don't continually fertilize your new Japanese maples here, okay? Just one fertilization here in the spring. Do it in April after you get some vegetation that comes out, and your 1-year-old newly grafted Japanese maples, I promise you that they are going to do a fantastic job for you. Water them once a day, okay? If they're in a pot, you need to water them daily, and they are going to do incredibly well for you, okay? Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor. We are growing exponentially here on the channel, and that's because of you guys, and I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can in the comments, and if I get enough questions, I'm trying to do videos like this video today on those questions to try to help you guys be better gardeners. As always, thanks for watching the channel, and happy gardening.